There is one major difference between a car and an airplane. The car does not fly. Its control is therefore quite simple. Just turn the front wheels and the car will turn. It's a bit more complicated with an airplane, because the only thing that touches it in the air is the air. So in this video I will try to explain to you the basics of what the main parts of an airplane are and how airplanes maneuver. I would like to point out in advance that I am not an expert, and the purpose of this video is not to teach everyone how to fly an airplane, but to make people understand how these machines work. We can distinguish three main aerodynamic parts of the aircraft. The wings, they produce most of the lift. The second part is the horizontal stabilizer, which ensures that the aircraft maintains its height, and the vertical stabilizer prevents the aircraft from turning from side to side. It is enough for one of the parts to break off, for example in contact with another plane, and it would be quite certain that the plane would crash. Now let's look at the basic aerodynamic controls of the aircraft. There are three again: ailerons, elevator and rudder. The ailerons are located on the wings. It is used to turn the aircraft around its longitudinal axis. The ailerons usually work in opposite. When the pilot wants to turn the aircraft to the left, the right aileron moves down, which deflects the air down, thus increasing the lift on the right wing and causing the wing to rise. At that same moment, the left aileron moves up, which deflects the air above, thus reducing the lift on the left side. The second element is the elevator. As its name suggests, it is used to adjust the height. It is located on the horizontal stabilizer. If the pilot wants the plane to climb, he deflects the elevator upwards. This causes the air to deflect upwards, causing the tail of the aircraft to lower and the nose to rise. If the pilot wants to descend, the exact opposite will simply happen. The last element is the rudder. This is used to turn the aircraft without turning around its longitudinal axis, as is the case with wings. When the rudder is turned to the left, the air will also be deflected to the left, and thus the vertical stabilizer will be pushed to the right. This will ultimately turn the aircraft to the left. However, it is not common to use just one control element alone to change direction, but a combination. In the event that one of these three controls goes wrong, nothing is lost, that is, unless it gets stuck in some position where it would start turning the plane unstoppably. In addition to these controls, there are a few other things on the plane that should be mentioned. When taking off, the plane moves at a relatively low speed, which depends on the type and weight of the plane, but it can be said that for an airliner it is around 270 kilometers per hour. In a normal wing configuration, the wings would not generate enough lift, so the flaps and slots extend during takeoff. These increase lift by extending the wing area and deflecting the air down. However, the flaps and slits create drag, so they are retracted when the plane is already traveling at a higher speed and the wings are generating enough lift when retracted. Flaps and slots also extend during landing. If the pilot wants to slow down the plane, he can also use spoilers. They slide out of the wing and increase drag, slowing the plane down. Airplanes are really cool machines, and there is always a lot to say about them. So if you want to know more, you can let me know with your like. Good night.